Hello, hello, and welcome to June. We're so excited that it's already June. Like I said yesterday, I think it was like literally yesterday that we had New Year's, and here we are, June, right? It seems like you wait so long for summer, and then, or at least I do. But I'm so excited of what we're going to share tonight, and it's not going to be long, but we want to cover the basics and make sure that we have everything laid out well for the beginning of the month because this month is packed. So, Sheila, you want to start with that?
I would love to, because yes, June, so exciting. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the incentives first because we want to get that really solid. Um, there's so much going on, and the end of May was so exciting. The excitement just like I felt it build up, build up, build up. Like there's big things coming, and we've said this whole year already that there's momentum coming, company momentum. And so this is a train you're going to want to jump on. You will want to be a part of this. So this month enroll six and earn the 250 USD. In the US, it's Nike personalized Nikes, which is so super cool. So cool. And in Canada, we get the 250 USD. We were supposed to get Nikes personalized, but Nike ended that program April 30th. And that is not within Plexus's control. They put their like incentives, like they planned them way in advance, so they had no idea. That is all on Nike, but we get crack cash. And on 250 US is like 328 Canadian. So I can buy a lot of shoes with $300. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, yes, from the last time we did it, right, Holly? That is so cool. So cool. Plexus has done this incentive before, and it was super successful. It is amazing what people will do for a pair of shoes, like truly. And I guess Nikes are a really big name, so I'm not the person to ask, but I think that's cool. New VIP customers receive free shipping plus the 10% off. The 10% off comes with the loyalty program, so that stays there. The free shipping is on till the 14th. So it's an extra incentive, something to like the people that were sitting on the fence at the end of last month, talk to them because this is an extra added on bonus for them. This is the final month for the development bonus. And the development bonus is the one I'm pretty sure that is for gold and above, if I'm correct. Yeah. Okay, good. Because I didn't take the time to look into that. And convention is coming. So next week is convention. There are big things coming. There have been hints dropped everywhere, and I cannot wait to see them. I cannot wait to be in Ohio. I wish you would were all coming because it's going to be so good. So good. To me, I never care where convention is because it's not the place, it's the people. And so we could be sitting in Timbuktu and I couldn't care. It is the actual convention that I'm so excited about. And so with that, some things that I want to mention about May and June. If you felt like I've had so many conversations over the last week, if you felt like your May wasn't what you wanted it to be, I want you to leave May in May. Just leave it there. Take a moment, give yourself the time to take a moment to sit down and reflect because reflection gives you so much that you can learn from. Take the good out of the month and say, okay, I'm going to continue this. Take the things that you thought, do you know what? I could have done that better. Use them to build on. Use them as stepping stones and be like, okay, I'm going to take this and this and this, and that's what I'm going to improve on this month. Maybe it's your consistency in posting. Maybe it's your consistency in reaching out. Maybe it's your own personal growth. Maybe it's your mental, like where you are at mentally, that you allowed yourself to get into a pit of negative thinking, whatever it may be. Don't let yourself stay there. Don't let yourself stay there. It takes intentionality to step out of that and be like, do you know what? I'm going to decide that June is going to be my month. It takes a decision. Momentum doesn't just happen magically. Motivation doesn't just happen magically. That comes with a decision to act. Motivation comes from action. They're actually connected. And you're not going to feel motivated until you take that first step. It's just like going to the gym or eating well. You don't really want to, but once you start doing it, it's like, okay, yes, let's keep going. Let's keep going. That's where motivation comes from action. So take that first step whether it is in your thinking or in your action, to think to yourself, okay, this is going to be my month. Put it up in front of you. If you could see my whiteboard in front of me, you would see all my goals from my point goal to the goal to go icon, all the things. I have them in front of me and I remind myself of them constantly. Because there's things that I would love to have improved on in May that May was a rough month for me, to be honest. And I'm like, I'm not going to let that define me. June is a new month. June is a new month. And if June rocked for you, yes, we are here to cheer you on. There were so many rank ups, so many new VIPs, so many things that you can be like, pat yourself on the back, be really proud of that, and then let's keep going. Let's keep going because that momentum is what we want to continue on. If we now say, "Oh yeah, I did it," and then get comfortable there, that's where things stop. That's where it stops. We want to keep that wheel spinning. We want to keep going. And that is what we're going to do with this June incentive that I think Mom's going to talk a lot more about because we have an exciting chat coming and all sorts of goodness. So I'm going to let you take it over.
Awesome. Thank you. It's always, you feed from the previous into the future, right? And I always remind myself that whatever I'm taking that is not necessary needs to be unloaded. So I always need a little bit of time to start the new month and visualize. And so this June Jumpstart Challenge was one day late. We start today, which is awesome because it gives you a little bit of time to reorganize your brain and all the things. And the basic point of it is super simple. It is to create activity, to create consistency and excitement, because those three things, if you're going to be true to yourself and show up in the chat, those three things are going to motivate your brain into doing what you need to be doing, because you're going to see the chat moving. You're going to be like, oh, right, I got to get my IPA in, right? And it's not about perfection. It is literally about daily action and to show up, to share your work and to cheer others on, because we're creating momentum together. So workers win, right? I love how just a little while ago we were in Arizona, a whole group of diamonds, 100 diamonds showed up in Arizona. And there's lots and lots of discussion about this and that. And I love that Plexus gives us that opportunity to have a voice in how the company is run and what the field needs and what the corporate needs. And then one of the ladies in the room got up and she's like, you know what, guys? Work works. She narrowed it down to that, right? It's just like, work works. We all know what to do. So that's been continually in my brain, right? And then convention is coming, and just the whole aspect of convention and what it does to the mindset of the people is such a big deal, because convention changes people. So my convention story way back in 2015, I think, was my very first one. We had never even really gone to the US. Like, we weren't travel people at all. And so when the convention contest started, and I told John, we're going to go to Arizona in June, he laughed at me and I was so insulted. It's like, don't laugh at me. And so that kind of drove me. It's like, I'll prove it to you. Drove me to work the contest. And at the very end, when the contest was done, it's usually finishes in April. The only thing I had to pay for was his $300 flight ticket. The rest I had worked for. And so I love that Plexus gives us those opportunities, and that other people believed in me and saw bigger, that if I would be there, that could feed potentially way more, right? And honestly, our belief was built at that convention, and our vision was laid out, and so many other people surrounding us that were doing it, had done it, right? And had been in much longer than us. They created that path of belief for us. And so if you are attending, lean in fully, because it's such a big deal. If you're not attending, stay connected, because me and Sheila are going to be like, our chats are going to be rolling, and you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff, because we get so excited when we're there. We're like, ah! So there's going to be new product information. There will be new training opportunities. And I know already of several product releases that are coming. And for one in particular, I am so excited, because this is the one that is where Plexus says they're going to be the gut health company in the world, these kinds of products is what's going to take them there. So that one I'm super excited about. And then just stay tuned for all the sales and all the fun stuff that's going to come with that. Okay, Sheila, I'm going to let you introduce your girls and we're going to hear some stories. I'm so excited for this.
Oh, I am so excited for this. Like, whoo. Okay, so we did an event yesterday, and Allie and Nikki shared their stories and blew us away, like completely. It was so, I've never regretted in my life more not recording an event. Like, truly. It's just sitting there the whole time. I'm like, we should have recorded this. We should have recorded this. So we had to ask them to share again tonight. Allie is my personal VIP. She just joined not that long ago, and she has just been on fire and caught the vision. And I don't think I've ever met anybody that asks better questions. Like truly. She asks the best questions. They're so well thought out, and I'm just so impressed every single time. And she brought Nikki into our Plexus family, and I have just had the absolute pleasure of getting to know them and being able to build a relationship with them. And so I'm really excited you ladies are here, and I cannot wait for you guys to share with us tonight. Ali, do you want to start? And then Nikki, you can follow her. Okay. Don't think you're unmuted yet. Yeah.
I'm a teacher and I do that all the time. So my story starts with me, and I was coming up on a year of postpartum, and my hormones were still just way out of whack, and I had no energy. I was irritable all the time. My anxiety was worse than it had ever been before. And I shared this last night, probably for the first time, but I was having anxiety attacks, like panic attacks, and I never really had those. Like I've had them, but I've not had them like as frequent. And so I was praying for for a breakthrough and asking the Holy Spirit to change me. And of course, God could have just changed me, and you know, whatever. But then Sheila messaged me and asked me if anyone had shared Plexus with me before. And I was like, I'm going to be completely honest. I had to Google Plexus and I saw that it was a supplement company. I was like, okay, so if anybody knows me, I'm all about ingredients. And so I, of course, my crazy self, I'm like, oh, I'm going to search all my holistic groups. And everyone was raving about it. Like every Plexus post or comment that I saw, like everyone was so excited about it and like just raving about how clean the ingredients were. And I was like, how have I never heard of this before? And so then my next thing was like, okay, how am I going to justify this expense? Because I'm getting ready to become a stay-at-home mom. So I'm getting ready to take a huge pay cut. And I had been praying for months about asking God to guide my path and that I trust him. And I just like felt on my heart like him speaking to me like this, like I feel like God is telling me to move into a different direction. And so I brought it up to my husband, and he was very skeptical. Pretty sure he threw out the word scam. And now that I think about it, probably like pyramid scheme. And I was like, I'm telling you that God is putting this on my heart. And so we both agreed that, like, what was the worst that could happen? I could like spend a little extra money and feel better. And so then Sheila talked to me about the income opportunity as well. So that is kind of what led me to bring that up to my husband, because he was like, I don't think that this is going to work. Like, this just seems silly. And so then it took me a while. And one morning I was praying and I was just asking God, like, is this the right path? Is this the path I'm supposed to be on? Like, I'm just like, please show me something. And then I'm pretty sure that same night I got my first referral and I was like, okay, God is blessing me. And then I got my second referral and then my third referral. And I was like, okay, this is definitely where I'm supposed to be going. And then after that, I just completely fell in love with helping people. And then on top of all of that, just like despite all of uh, the health improvements that had happened, the community and the friendship and the encouragement that came with that, I didn't realize how lonely I was as a stay-at-home mom until I started talking to people, adults, and I started reconnecting with old friends. And like, it wasn't about trying to get them to sell or to buy Plexus. It was like just the feeling of being able to connect with people again. And even if it was through social media, it was just, I could tell that God was leading me in that direction. And I'm just really excited for what this journey has for me.
Now I'm
Mm.
muted.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm not a teacher.
am I
No,
frozen?
you're not. And what she didn't mention is like she's like a really like she teaches biology, so she's got like a brain, like a serious, very impressive, very impressive. I like she asks me questions and I'm like, Allie, you probably know more than I do. I'm like, you probably know a lot more than I do. Thank you so much for sharing that. I loved it. So good. Nikki, do you mind sharing next? I cannot wait. You're gonna blow everybody's mind. Seriously.
I don't know about that. But I will do my best. Um, so I started Plexus at rewind maybe a little. I kind of saw Allie, which she didn't have very much of a social media presence. And then I started noticing she did. And like this purple drink, well, always we've known I've tried Plexus before. It was always the pink drink. And I'm like, what is this? Is like a spinoff, or I didn't even know what type of product it was. And then she posts something another day, and I was like, wow, I really connect with that. And I just liked it, or I loved it, or something. And she was directly in my inbox, and it was just fate from there. Um, I was diagnosed not too long ago with IBS-C, which through all of like my GI journeys and doctors and different referrals and whatever, that was like the first diagnosis that I've ever had, which now that I think back to it at 34, almost 35, like that's really odd to me. But anyways, I've always had some type of gut issue that I just kind of thought like, this is life, this is normal. Until I recently had a horrible flare up that was like weeks long, months long almost. And so I went to a GI doctor and they told me to take Miralax for 3 months straight every single day. And I have another friend who has Crohn's disease. And I was just kind of chatting with her and I was like, is this right? And oddly enough, her name is Allie as well. And I was like, I just don't know about this. And I actually read the back of Miralax and it was like, don't take longer than 7 days. I was like, I know I should probably follow like a professional's lead on this and their information, but just something wasn't sitting right. Well, I did try it. I was about a week and a half in to every single day of Miralax at night, mixing it with orange juice. And after a week and a half, woke up one morning in so much pain, excruciating pain, like doubled over in my bathroom trying to get ready for work, and my husband's trying to get ready, and I was just bawling. I couldn't even get myself into a shower, and he was like, we need to take you to the emergency room. I said, I'm not going there. I know what they do there. It's either one or the other. You either get a suppository or you have an enema whenever you're in these types of situations. And I'm not having either of those. And so I kind of muscled through. And I didn't talk about this last night. That day, I went to our local pharmacy and I bought 2 bottles of magnesium citrate and I chugged both of them just to try to give myself relief. Like that's how desperate I was. And obviously, if you've Googled magnesium citrate, you know the side effects of that, but that's where I was. And it helped for the time being. And in the interim of all that, I was chatting with Allie and I was like, okay, you know what? Enough's enough. I need to give myself some type of relief. Like I said, I've tried Plexus before. I wasn't consistent. And I told myself this time, if I'm going to do this and if I'm going to invest this much money into myself, I have to be consistent. Like I owe that to myself. And so I'm close to like, I think just a little over a month in. And I've noticed a huge change. I am, for the first time in I don't know how many years, I am consistently going. And that wasn't normal for me. My normal was maybe like once every 2 weeks. The inflammation is insane. Like how much has been gone. I said last night that I, on a whim, after the first week of being on Plexus, and I do the gut health and also the Slim and Trim, but the first week I went through my closet and I was like, let's try on my skinny jeans, like, because I've gained that much weight or that much inflammation. And lo and behold, they fit. So I was like, score. This is great. So with that, obviously your consistency just like falls in line. But along with that, like kind of what Ali said, you see and you find yourself as an adult, or I did, kind of like Ali, like you fall into like this rhythm of almost secluding yourself, or lives, like you get busy. We have kids and sports and they take over everything. But finding like a community and just the support, is amazing. Or just like the cheering on and being able to be not one-upping one another, and just wanting the best for everybody and helping people along the way is within itself just amazing. So that's why, one, I love the products, but also two, just the additives that come with it. They're absolutely amazing all around. I mean, the compensation, the benefits from that, but also too, the crowd that you're surrounding yourself with is amazing. So
Amazing. There are no other words. Like seriously, thank you both so much. Like when you said you drank 2 bottles of magnesium citrate, oh my goodness. I
I was
literally,
desperate.
I kid you not, right before supper, I saw a reel on Instagram of 2 ladies who were dealing with, they, on their video, they were like, we're gonna drink this. They had both had a bottle of magnesium citrate, and they're like, we're gonna drink this because we can't deal with our bloating anymore. And their follow-up to that was pure torture. And I was
Hmm.
like, this is horrid. And you
Hmm.
drank 2 bottles.
2. Hmm. I
Oh
did the
my
first
goodness.
one and I was working from home that day, luckily. Sure. I was working from home that day and I told my husband, because he stayed home with me, and I was like, I'm gonna try just one. And like the first, I don't know, like 3 hours, it wasn't working. So I was like, down the hatch to the second one. Yeah. I
That is
was
insane.
miserable, but like honestly, the relief afterwards was worth it. But in hindsight, I was just band-aiding it, just like the
Yeah.
Miralax and everything
Yeah.
else that everybody tells you to do. Like that's just a band-aid. And that's what I was constantly doing.
Just that cycle of never ever
Mm-hmm.
actually getting to some place where you feel better. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now like I haven't gone for so and so long again. Let's quickly shove it out, and then I'm good for a day, and then we're
Yep.
back at it again. I
Yep.
had a niece that was on Miralax for years, from like 1 year old until like years. And then I'm terrified. She's 12 now. I'm terrified for what her life is going to look like future-wise. Like
Mm-hmm.
she hasn't had babies yet. She doesn't have her period yet. Like there's so
Mm-hmm.
much coming in her future. And I'm like, how much damage has this done? It just
Mm-hmm.
boggles my mind that medical professionals are allowed to prescribe this long term. Like it
Mm-hmm.
just drives, like I can't believe it. But
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing. That was
Yeah.
amazing. Like so belief giving to hear how lives can change. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. It's like I said yesterday, we would not have this amazing opportunity if it wasn't for the fact that these products work. These products are changing lives. Allie went fast start senior silver and Nikki went fast start silver this last month. So I can't wait to see where you guys take this. Like seriously, the sky is the limit. Thank you both for sharing.
That was so good. I could sit here all night. I so relate to Nikki's story because that was a large season of my life as well. And yes, if anybody can relate to having babies and not going to the bathroom, pure torture. Had I had Plexus, I have said that so many times, and that is why Sheila is here because yes, I forced her. She was newly, freshly pregnant. I'm like, you are not going to experience what I did. You need this. And so here we are 12 years later, right? And that still drives me. That's still, your previous experiences become your story. And once you've conquered some of those things and you know and understand that there is something amazing to offer, you want everyone to have that. Absolutely. And that's the same thing for building your business and for sharing with people and sharing the opportunity as well, right? And so I'm just going to add a little bit tonight on what it looks like to work during the summer, because there's always something, right? Like Nikki said, life's, and that is summer. Summer has all these things happening. People are outside, they're traveling, they're at gatherings, they're, around friends and family. And the mindset shift there is, many people treat summer as a season to pause because they've got all this. So it feels justifiable to not work your business, to not be sharing. But the evidence, and this is a conversation we had on a Jewel book study yesterday, the evidence shows otherwise. Those that do show up, the biggest rank ups come during the summer, exactly because people are outside, they're traveling, they're at gatherings, they're around friends and family. And that community part is such a big deal, right? Along with that, people are still looking for more energy. They're looking to go to the bathroom. That's still an issue. It doesn't go away just because it's summer, right? People are wanting to lose weight. That's a big deal during summer, and feeling financial pressure. Lots of financial pressure because of vacations and summer expenses. I mean, like, go put your kids in something. It's so terribly expensive for camps and stuff, right? And so I'm going to take you in a little bit. Just think of those opportunities as places to have conversations. I hear so many stories of moms out at baseball games or moms out at camps, and they're sharing their story. And there's so many people there that you can talk to, right? Talk to them about Plexus, and they're going to be like, I need that. I need that. That was me too. I joined in late October as a customer, upgraded to an ambassador on December 31st, because I was like, I'm not starting that new year feeling like the old me. And I had some pretty good results right away as well, which I wanted them to continue. I was like almost frantic, thinking, don't let these awesome results go away, right? Because often I would try things, but they would only work for a little while, and then I was back to where I had been. And so I was like, this has got to work. This has got to work. And then I was thinking of people who I had to tell. As we built our business, my biggest top 3 Jewel ranks all came during summer. And as this dawned on me yesterday, I was like, look at the evidence. That's a lot of evidence. So momentum can build and build, and you start, going towards that next rank, and you're working on breaking down, how many people is this going to be? How many people am I sharing with? How many people on my team are starting to share? And things escalate, right? If you haven't seen my stories today, I shared the circle of where you start and then how it compounds of how this compensation plan works. The beauty of it is we do not have a tiered system. We have a starburst system. So everybody who shares 7 levels deep count for you. That's a huge difference in the Plexus compensation plan, right? And so 2017, I went to convention the last week of May, and we were like that close from hitting Emerald. And so Emerald is 1,500 points in your whole organization, right? And so the only time I didn't work was on the flight, because we didn't have internet back then on the flights, right? And as soon as I got there, we checked into our room, we got right down to it, sat down, and we worked, and convention hadn't started. We were there a day early, and then on the very last day at noon, we hit Emerald. That was the top Jewel rank. That comes with an Emerald pool bonus. It comes with a Lexus stipend for a car. The difference here is Plexus doesn't do front loading in the business. You'll see a lot of other companies who do front loading. So they have immediate I call them gratification bonuses, where they're very hard to maintain. And so some other companies are going to do a vehicle stipend or something like that at the very beginning ranks, like maybe the second or the third rank. And then it becomes very hard for that person who is building that team to keep that momentum. And then they're stuck with a vehicle lease. I find that terrifying. Nobody has, money for extra payments, right? Whereas Plexus doesn't offer that stipend until you actually get to the first jewel rank, which is the third rank from the top. And it gives you a healthy stipend alongside of a percentage of the jewel bonus pool. So if you don't know what that is, go watch the videos. It'll blow your mind. So this would be my third Lexus. I paid out the last one and kept it. I have never yet paid for one. Plexus has always paid for it, and the stipend completely covers the payment. So that's always been a huge bonus. So fast forward to June 2020, guess what happened? It was graduation for my youngest daughter. It was COVID. It was just a gong show. They couldn't walk. They were just, driving by in vehicles. My daughter didn't want to walk. Anyhow, long story short, us and Sheila and Kevin and all of them ended up at the local pizza place. And I was looking at my points and I looked at Sheila and I was like, oh, what is happening? My team is just taking off. And I looked at Kevin and I said, all of a sudden I'm going to have to plan for Sapphire. And I was like, not even dawning on me. This was like middle of June, guys, middle of June. And he's like, just do it, Mom. Just come on, just do it. Just get on it. And I'm like, Kevin, do not challenge me. And I remember thinking, oh my word, it could be possible. Well, in those last 2 weeks, I set a goal. And as you know, on the 28th is the last day for any subscriptions to run, right? We projected our points. We put our goal out there. We shared with everyone. We were super working hard every day. Let's go get this. This was the second rank from the top. Well, we woke up on the 28th in the morning. Oh my gosh, we were 300 points short of what we had projected. Well, that was a little bit of an owie. And so in that moment in the morning, I had to decide, what are we doing? Are we changing the verbiage and saying, oh, well, that didn't work, so we're just going to wait, maybe next month? And I decided, no way, I am not quitting on myself. I am not quitting on my team. We're going to go, and we're going to go as hard as what we can, as far as what we can, and we've made it further than ever before. And so we ran for it, and we went, gosh, I think 300 points over. So Sapphire is 3,000 points. We landed at like 3,300. Like incredible what the mindset does once you get at it. This was summer. This was June, right? Fast forward 1 year, June 2021. We had been building up the whole year, working towards Diamond. It was in our verbiage, but we weren't quite sure when. And we did a retreat in, Southern Alberta. We did a ladies' retreat, and it was middle of May. And one of the girls looked at me and she's like, so when are you setting your date for Diamond? And I was like, yikes, no one had challenged me, I don't know. And I said, well, points are trending, like we're getting close. We're kind of like pointed in that direction, but I didn't want to trust to just allow it to happen, right? There's always that self-doubt. There's always still fear. There's always still the thought of, well, what if no one shows up, just me, right? And then I got into my head and I was like, okay, this is not about me. This is way bigger than me. This is about all the people in my team. And I started gathering goals and making sure that I knew where the other people were going, because that in itself was going to create the movement for me to reach my goal. And so when you look at what it's going to take for you to reach your goal, look at who you can help and who you can help achieve their goal. That's going to increase yours, right? And so we packed up our RV. It was still COVID. It was still, you couldn't go in a restaurant without a mask. You couldn't stay in a hotel if you hadn't had the shot. Canada was crazy. And so we packed up our RV and we went to where Sheila was living in the city. And the last 2 weeks, I believe it was, we worked straight through. And the last day, the very last day, like we had been working hard, the very last day, I was looking at the points and I was like, oh my goodness, is this the rank that I'm just going to have to be okay with missing like that close, like that very, very close? And I had a little bit of a wrestling moment with God, and I was like, I don't get out of the driver's seat. But I had to surrender that. I had to say, whatever comes of this, we have worked as hard as what we could. People were showing up for their goals. People were there supporting and working and sharing. It was in the dead of summer. It was also like, guys, I think the Fahrenheit equivalent would have been like 110 degrees. It was very hot. And we were in our RV. Like, it was crazy what was happening that summer. There was a whole ton of stuff going on at home that we had no control over. And we kind of just put blinders on and said, let's go get this. Let's go bring our people. Let's go get this. And then on the very last day, I said to my team, you know what, guys, we're going to go as hard as what we can. If we don't hit, that's okay too. And it just about killed me to say that because we were that close. Well, by about 5 o'clock that afternoon, we hit and we ran over. So Diamond is 4,500 points and we ran over to like almost 4,800. People just started showing up and started sharing, and it just flowed. So my whole point of this story is summer works if you show up too. And the second thing is show up for your people, because their goals are going to happen as you're helping them, and then your goal happens as well. A little bit of our history there. And this is something that is now becoming a reality in Sheila's team. She's really gearing up towards Sapphire. And this is where we can, go back to the thoughts and the mindset processes that you have during that time to not allow your doubt to take you out. That's actually a book study that we're doing. Doubt is just affirming negative beliefs that you have spoken over yourself, but they're not truth. They're usually lies, right? And so energy goes where energy flows, because that's evident. People feel your energy regardless of if it's negative or if it's positive, right? So energy goes where energy flows. Teams follow leaders, show up like a leader, and customers follow consistency. If you're doing good customer care, they're going to stay consistent, and that in itself is going to expose them to more of the opportunity. And prospects watch before they join as well, right? All of that kind of compounds over and above each other, and it climbs. And so if your team copied your activity exactly this month, what would happen? That's very inspiring to me. All right. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much, girls, for sharing your story. I'm very excited about this month. And I should quickly grab the comments because I wasn't watching.
Yeah, especially Allie's there. That is insane.
Oh, 80% of what people think isn't the truth. Lisa Bevere post podcast is incredible once you get into mindset, truths and lies, and how much of what we aren't self-aware of to think about what you're thinking about, right? It's so powerful of what we affirm subconsciously. And then we say, we're stuck. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know what comes next, right? We actually do, but we have affirmed those beliefs, those neural pathways so heavily that we feel that is our truth, right?
Yeah.
Josie, the replay from last week. Let me see if it's still on my computer. I haven't quite been able to keep up with month end and all. I didn't upload that one yet. Perfect. Awesome.
Book study.
Okay.
Book study
Book
tomorrow
study
morning.
tomorrow morning at 9. And even if you don't have the book, come and join us. Don't let doubt take you out. He's actually a pastor that works with John Maxwell. So if you know anything about John Maxwell, he's pretty amazing in the whole personal growth industry. I don't think there's anybody bigger than John Maxwell. Okay. Summer is not the season to disappear. It's the season to stand out. Thanks for being here, guys. Take care.
Thank you. See ya, guys.